And we're back. Okay, so I'm gonna make a little clip this year. As soon as I can go through everything, I'm gonna make it. We're gonna have like one of those little clips. So every time we're trying to do this pod, and you're like, I smoke too much weed, because it's like a consistent thing. So I'm like, essentially, by the end of it, I think sometimes you hit your pen too much, and by the end of it, I'm basically just having a conversation.
It's not just that, it's that I'll jump into this with zero structure and like
Mhm.
too not pensive, but too like in my head, and
Mhm.
I won't know what the fuck to say, and then I'll be smoking and I'm like, that's not helping whatsoever.
No, I'm gonna
So
make a
yeah.
new clip. So yeah, we can do some more structure. That's gonna be like the goal, like to help uh like verbalize what is going on. Because the whole point of this is for us to have a
Communicate.
dialogue.
Communicate something to the
Otherwise
fucking world.
otherwise I'll just sit on here, you can smoke weed and I'll just tell stories and we can film your reaction. Um but okay, so I'm going back to this. I think it was, what day was it? Was it Friday night?
Probably Friday night.
We were in the group chat and you were like, I came here on a pee break from a mini mushroom trip and I'm going back to my cave now. I'm lost and have so much to catch up on, but I gotta wipe and go back to my warm. So I'm assuming-
Pause. Let me tell you where I was in my head here, okay? There were 37 notifications
Uh-huh.
when I came back, and I was like, I can't do this right now.
Yeah, that's the group
But
chat. Sometimes I
so that's
wake
where I
up in
was.
the afternoon. I wake up later than all of you because I'll go to bed at like sometimes 10 o'clock in the morning. I wake up in the afternoon and there's like 50 fucking messages. This wonder of a group chat. Shit goes on without you. You have to catch up. So then you're like, my legs are going numb. Bye. I'm like, you've mentioned before that you aren't good at microdosing. Like, I'm fucking great at microdosing. Like, well, this time Chris took 2 very light gummies and we watched a movie and he's really good at making me laugh. I'm on shrooms. Maybe I'm a bitch? Question mark. I'm like, feel like there's some context missing. You're like, and then I thought you were going to explain that. Like, am I a bitch? I'm like, give me some context. You didn't explain that. You were like, all caps. Do not let me delete that. I'm like, I can't. Like, delete what? I'm like, I can't stop you. So then you screenshot the conversation we just had and put it in the group chat. Like, that's going to stop you from deleting it.
I figured one of you would download it.
And then the next thing, you're like, unstoppable, like the T-Rex. Raw. I'm like, okay, don't delete any of this. I want you to wake up and read this fucking nonsense, then explain yourself. You're like, there's some really good sense behind it, but it's hard to articulate. Like, no shit. So please do articulate. And then we'll get to this fantastic shit right here.
Oh, yeah. This was the end result.
Is it? I thought this
No
one.
March dropping.
I thought this was the final.
Well, no, I asked him to put Willie in the Eagles. So that's our new merch drop coming soon.
This is great merch. It's fantastic.
It hurts.
But I still don't know
Yeah.
what you were talking about. You were like,
So
I'm a bitch.
So the whole conversation that happened in my head was, maybe he is funny and he does make me laugh all the time, but I'm too much of a bitch in real life to like laugh.
Oh, okay. But that was too hard to fucking articulate.
Via text. Yes, it
Then
was.
you were not microdosing.
But I only had so much time before, like, he was doing or saying something else, and I was so then I did put my phone down at one point, and it was after I sent you the screenshot, and
Mhm.
when I opened it again to see what you had written, at the very top, I could see "unstoppable" because you said something and you said "unstoppable," and so my thought was, "Oh my god, the unstoppable T-Rex. I should make myself the unstoppable T-Rex." And so we had a romantic evening playing around with that.
I'm never ever
But the
microdosing
problem I
again.
was having was that every time I would type something's up with my predictive text and my battery was low. So,
Mhm,
and honestly, I think it's just Apple trying to push me to update the phone,
mhm,
upgrade. But it was just not coming like the predictive text wasn't working. And
mhm.
so everything I wrote sounded so much dumber than I meant to make it sound, and I was like, "No, she's gonna, like, think I'm off my shit." I'm like, "Cut it out." Literally, I have never taken enough psychedelics to actually have whole experience hallucinations. I've only
I
done it for my depression,
um,
but it was fun. It
yeah,
was
you
a
shouldn't
teeny
have
tiny.
any conversations with anybody outside of the, like, circumstance that
But I
you're in
had to
at the
check
time.
in on y'all, and I was trying not to get on my phone, but I had to
Uh-huh.
pee, and there was so many fucking notifications. I'm like, "I'll check in." And then it's just but my
Yeah.
legs were going numb because I was there for so long, like, deleting all of it and rewriting it.
Okay, now I understand. That wasn't clear either. There was no context for anything you were saying. Okay, I get it now.
I don't wanna say this is something I've only done when I'm microdosing because this was me, like, my friend Rachel, she will tell you that ever since junior high in high school, I've always been that person that will say things without there's no the connection's usually internal in my mind. It's
Mhm.
and yeah.
So, one time I was with my friends who were tripping, my shady
Mhm,
friends, right? Who were tripping, but I was sober. And we're in a bathroom in the city and at a club. And it's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And one of them says to the other one, she's like, I'm really feeling it. How are you feeling it? What level are you at? And she's like, I'm not a goldfish, but I can see hats. Now, I had no context for that at all. But in that moment, I'd had enough experience to know exactly what
yeah.
level she was at.
I mean, it makes sense.
I'm not a goldfish, but I can see hats. And it was later on that they explained she explained the context to me. There had been a time when she'd been at a club where they'd done the same. They've been taking the same psychedelics, and she had honestly thought that she'd turned into a goldfish, like on Fantasia, and the club was a fishbowl.
I could never take shit like that and
However, when she could see hats, it's when you look. You know, when you're if you're a little sideways and you're in a city, you look up at the skyscrapers. They look like top hats. So that's the level. That's the level she was at.
that makes complete sense.
Right? So I knew, like, even though, like, I had all of the context I needed, but like, I could not follow. I could not follow. You were like, "Maybe I'm a bitch." I'm like, "Maybe you are." I don't know. I was it was like
My
a not a statement, it was a question.
yeah, maybe I am just a bitch.
Like, I
I yeah, it's
you were somewhere in between the goldfish and the hat. Like, yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's some good stuff. And coincidentally, today while I was listening to my lesson in my traumatic studies, it was on psychedelics and trauma. So it was
Mhm, mhm.
perfect. Sounds like I've been doing it right. I hate it when people are like, "Hey, let's go like trip balls on shrooms." because me personally, I can't do something like that with someone else because I need to work on my inner dialogue so badly
Mhm.
that I'm working on me. And
Yeah.
even if it's just to unwind and just make myself laugh because I haven't laughed in a long time,
Mhm.
like, I can't have anyone else in my bubble, hence why Chris did not take any. He took some
Mhm.
gummies.
Mhm. Yeah, I get
It's
it.
bad.
You gotta be really careful with, yeah,
Yeah,
what
especially if you
what
have
you let into you.
mental health issues, 'cause but I think that stuff like, acid I did acid one time, and it was at, uh, Voodoo Fest in New Orleans,
Mhm.
and I was with someone, I was with someone that was safe, and that was amazing. I had an amazing night, but it was so amazing that I knew at that moment that I was very cognizant of that the person, the partner that I was with, this was gonna be the nicest time we ever have together because we are not gonna last for very long. And I remember just being at peace with that, like, I'm about to, like, completely break up with him. Let me just enjoy this night because I'm really fucked up and, like, everything feels pretty and nice. And then there was an Alice in Wonderland art exhibit where, like, you could it was like a living exhibit that you could go
Mhm.
to. It was amazing. I had so much fun. But, yeah, I think maybe that's the kind of drug you do out in public between concerts and, like, no, acid's not it. I've only done it once, so
Feel like
but shrooms, no, I would
depends on who
never.
you are mentally. I'm not a fan of, like, anything like that out of the comfort of my own home or a hotel room. Like, this is kind of the, like, shady friends thing. And I think we talked about this, or maybe we talked about it, but you were like, we did record a pod, I guess we'll use a little piece of it that you were like, "I'm too high, to smoke too much weed." But it was, like, right after, so we did one right after the Christmas party, right? Like, there was a Christmas party that I went to, and I don't even like drinking around a lot of people, right? Like, I don't, especially, like, people that I work with, I'm like, and it's even like, when I was a stripper, even when I was a stripper, now that I'm a manager, it's the same. Like, I don't wanna behave a certain way in front of people because I want set it, like, I wanna,
Yeah,
you know, hold
you're in a
myself to a
position.
certain standard,
Mhm.
right? But at the same time, like, I don't think anybody's judging me, but I'm judging, right? And I, at the same time, because I have a lot of empathy, the downside of that empathy is that I get secondhand embarrassed for people, and or if they get shit faced, it makes me uncomfortable if they're gonna do something. I don't like it. So I
Please,
don't like
before
being drunk. Huh?
I'm gonna pause right here for a second. I have a hard I guess no, actually, I've seen that in action. I have seen that in action. I was gonna say the opposite, but I have seen that in action. A girl's butt plug fell out of her on stage once, and you cleaned it up so graciously.
Right.
Like,
But
cleaned it up, picked it
that
up.
wasn't at a Christmas party.
It wasn't, but also it was on a stage at a club that you were,
I had to
running,
clean, yeah.
and there was, people there, and you still, like, "Alright then, let's fucking
Right,
take
but
care
I'm
of
not
this."
gonna fucking chew somebody up for something like that. I'm gonna take them aside. Like, I mean, you've just said it out on our podcast, but when something like that happens, like, I am not the person to be like, to chew, like, even for anything, like, whenever there's any kind of issue with anybody, nobody wants to be fucking pulled and
Called
told,
out.
like, right, like, you don't make them feel bad about something that they're already gonna feel bad about. It's fucking pointless and shitty. So, and you're not getting anywhere anyway. Like, you point out to them why something is not acceptable and the reasons that it's not acceptable, and then you move the fuck on so they can move on, right? That this is something different. Like,
But
I don't like being drunk around people. I don't like, especially in a work setting. I've never liked work parties because I don't want to be, I don't want to be shit faced in front of a whole bunch of people because I'm a fucking menace. Like, a very few people know that I can, like, honestly, like, I'm that person, like, all of my friends at home, when girls would say things like, I would never drink when I was running the club, right? And girls would try and buy me shots all the time. And I'd be like, "No, I don't drink. It's just the easier thing to say. It's like, I do not drink.
Mhm.
And girls would be like, Bambi, you're so innocent. You're so sweet. Oh yeah, just take up this whole fucking screen, mate.
Wow!
And
She just did the whole thing. Okay. Oh my god.
but girls will be like, Bambi's so innocent. You're so sweet. And I'm like texting my bestie. I'm like, guess what this fucking girl said to me? And she's like, on like dead cry laughing emoji. They have like, if they had no idea, they have no idea if they only knew. And that's the thing. I don't want them to fucking know. I don't want them to know.
Yeah.
I don't want them to fucking know. I want them to continue to be like, yeah, Bambi. And it's not until I'm gonna catch somebody out doing some shit they're not supposed to be doing, and they're like, no, I wasn't doing that. And I'm like, you know how I know that you were fucking doing that? Because I have had this experience. But I'm not going to explain to you about my experience or show you that I can handle
Mhm.
that. I'm never going to be in that experience in front of you, but I know from experience what you were doing. However, I don't want to be in a situation around a bunch of people where I'm either fucking wasted, like around everybody else, and I don't know how I'm going to behave or react. And I also do not want to be fucking sober around a bunch of wasted people because that shit is fucking tedious. So I don't like work parties. It makes me secondhand stressed because I'm like, what is this person? What if one of the guys, like, what if some people start making out and then they're going to regret it later and they have to work together? Even though some people think that's funny, to me, it makes me awkward. Like,
Yeah. No,
I
I
don't
get
like
it.
it. So I don't like secondhand parties. So for that reason, forever, I have always been, probably people consider me to be a fucking snob, but I have been that person who has an elite group of people that she will form a sub party, right? I take a smaller group of people that I can trust and I can behave however I want, free from judgment. And I don't judge them either, right? And we can behave however we want because I know that we can all just the small group of us can laugh about it and trust each other and be ourselves and not have to worry about like any of the repercussions or anything. And that to me that's where I feel safe. So I am not a go out and get wasted at a concert type of person. Like I will go to all of those things, but I would rather go sober. And I've
Mhm.
always, even when I've been a really like a heavy partier, I've always been like to remain more sober. And then I
Mhm.
will go to a smaller secondhand location with a small chosen few and let loose. Like I've never liked to
Yeah,
experiment
that
with
doesn't
anything with
feel safe to
a
me.
group of people. It's not even about safety. It's like
Like,
I don't want I don't want to see certain people behaving a certain way, and I don't want
mhm.
those people for the same reason. I don't want to see them behaving that way. I don't want them to see me behaving that way.
I think for me, it's more of a how some people treat you outside of the
Mhm,
club when they know you're in the industry and
mhm.
maybe that they start kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit, and then if I'm drinking, my reaction's not gonna be as appropriate as it should be, I guess. Should
Oh,
be.
100%. No,
I'm not gonna put it down nicely, like, you're gonna
absolutely. No,
lose a nose.
I don't want to have to be like 3 fucking tequilas in and watch what I fucking say about my friend's fucking bitchy girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? Like, who makes some fucking side comment about strippers. Like, bitch, you're in a fucking
Well,
room full of strippers. Like,
can you
I don't want to be that person. So I would rather just be sober. But I don't want to be
I
sober around a bunch of wasted people.
I know you're not speaking from experience. Can you give me an example of what those comments might sound like?
Oh, like, oh, I've never been a stripper. I'm a bartender. So, you know, it's just a different, like, it's just, I need to dress appropriately. And I feel like around a bunch of strippers, I should look like a stripper. That's a comment that somebody gave me recently.
Oh, to you?
Yeah, not about me. Like, she thought she
To you,
thought
yeah, no, I
she
understand.
thought she thought because I was the manager that
Mhm,
I
that you
was
guys were on
gonna
the
be
same
happy
page
for
there.
her to, because she's not a stripper, she's a bartender, therefore, you know, she should ask me about her outfit rather than the strippers because, and I was just like, I I don't even know, like, how to,
I
and if had I been drunker, You know,
Oh,
that comment, like, for me, I would have been like, "Listen, I'm not this.
you sure you want to
I'm
go
not
with
this."
that?
Yeah, and there's just sometimes, like, I can't be that person. Like, I'm not. Otherwise, I just be starting fights all the time. There's just sometimes it's like,
That scares me so much because
there's a lot of people that need to be, like, that should be corrected on their fucking, like, the way they talk about people or things that they're comfortable saying in public. And do I have to be that fucking person all the time? I don't think so. Why? Better for me to just be sober because then I can pick the moments. Because if I'm sober
that's true.
and I'm gonna go off on somebody, it's because it was what they said was foul. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. If I'm if I'm lit, like, it's gonna be everything.
So, did something happen that sounded like at the Christmas party that was like,
No, because I was sober. I was sober until I had one drink. I was so exhausted. I had one drink at the party, and then I was like, "All right, let's go to a second location that isn't the location where everybody else is going." And it's not a hate on anybody because I like everybody very much. I just don't
yeah.
want to be wasted. I don't want to be sober around a whole bunch of fucked up people because why would I want to spend my Sunday doing that? But also, will not allow myself will not allow myself to be lit in front of all of those people that I work with. But it's not just people that I work with, it's everybody. Like, there is only a small amount of people that I am happy to behave that way in front of. And I've always been that way. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, it's a trust thing. It's not even just, it's not that I don't trust people, it's that I don't trust myself either. Like, it's,
I I'm very quiet around people until I'm 100% comfortable around them, and because I will fuck up with what I say a million
mhm,
percent. Like, I could just expect it at this point and just roll
mhm,
with it. Because I
mhm,
will think about it 20 years down the fucking line. I know it'll file away
mhm.
somewhere for when I can't sleep, and so I might
Oh,
as well
you
just
remember that embarrassing moment that you did this and you're like, ding, and you wake up? Yeah. Is that an ADHD issue or does everybody
think
do that?
so. I think so, and I
Because
think it
I'll
has
wake up
something
and
to
be
do
like,
with,
remember
like,
that time when you were 15 and you did this stupid shit? And I'm like, I haven't thought about that for 20 years. Thanks so much. Now I'm embarrassed 20 years later. It's like, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I try not to go, but I have done very embarrassing things that I've had to tell myself, "In 10 years, I'll laugh about this." Most of them have happened when I've been binge drinking, so I am going since then, I've just kind of, like
Mhm,
I found myself, I don't know, I don't find myself around a lot of people who drink now, and I only drink on occasion,
habitually
but
drinking is just kind of sad at this point, right? Like, I don't know. Once I'm this age, like, we used to, it was fairly common for all of my friends, like in my 20s. I didn't really drink at all. You know, but most people I was around would drink every weekend, right? And a lot of the girls that I worked with drank habitually at work. And I was at a point where I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I do all of this fucking work. I paid for my tits. I get my hair done. I do my nails. I fucking go to the gym. I go to these fucking special classes to make sure my fucking ass doesn't have any cellulite on it. Why would I then pour fucking cellulite juice down my fucking throat? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's pointless. Like, so I got to a point, right, in my 20s where I'm like, I want to do this professionally. I want to look good professionally. This is just a waste of goddamn time.
mm,
So I didn't drink any. But the times when I have drunk, like, if I'm a drink, I'm not just a one drink and leave it person. I'm very much all or nothing. So yeah. But I feel like that is true of a lot of entertainers that I work with. Like, they're not like a once you start, that's kind of, yeah. But now that we're
it
getting a little
depends
bit
on my
older.
mood. And
Mhm,
it depends on the plans for the next day
mhm,
and how serious I am about actually making money if I'm
mhm,
not at work.
mhm.
I'm usually just around, like, literally, like,
Mhm,
Chris doesn't drink.
mhm. I don't know, I just feel like at this point, if you're a habitual drinker, then it's not a it's not you can't say it's recreational anymore. Yeah, like, by the time you're past your 30s, if you're drinking all the time, it's not socially,
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's a
no.
big
Just
statement
what
to
if your
make.
job is a social job, then you're drinking all day, every day, all day, or
Oh,
you're
for
drinking
sure, like,
in
if
that.
you're a like, but we that's it, like, people in our industry, we're, like, definitely susceptible to have it ending up with that type of addiction because we're fucking around it all the time. Bartenders, people are constantly wanting to buy a bartender a drink. You just have to learn ways of being like, "I'm not." You don't have to participate in it all the time, otherwise, yeah, that's it. Like, you will end up.
Hey, because when I spent 5 years bodybuilding and then 1 year powerlifting, and
Mhm,
just because it wasn't in my plan,
mhm.
I didn't, drink. It didn't help me with my goals in any season, and
No.
it did nothing, but I was with someone who drank a lot, and so seeing I was dealing with that and my own child and, my own thing, so and came family with alcoholism, it just kinda turned
Mhm,
me off. I don't see a reason to drink at home really unless
mhm,
you have special occasions, so seeing it at
mhm,
home all the time bothered me, so I just stayed away from it. When I started dancing,
mhm,
I didn't drink for the first 2 months to make sure I was okay with it,
mhm,
and then I went all in a little too hard,
mhm,
but it evened itself out. Yeah. I don't know how people can make it to our age having started in their 20s
mhm.
and drank so much all those years to,
Mhm.
how are you standing?
Eventually, something's gonna happen, right? Like, eventually, it's not you can only do it so much, and, your body is gonna wear out eventually, like, and if you see people and they're like, "I don't know how they have the stamina to do that," and I'm like, "Well, eventually they're not gonna. Like, it's not a magic trick, like, eventually it's gonna catch up."
Oh, yeah. We can wrap this up.
Sure.
I'm
Wait, tell
excited
me
to get
before we do it, right, before we
okay.
wrap up, like, what is something that you wanna do? You were talking about boundaries. What do you wanna
Mhm.
do for 2026, going into 26?
Um, I wanna put more effort and make our brand,
Mhm,
well, get that going. My website is doing really well with the little work I put into it so far, so fingers crossed that keeps going,
mhm.
and, stay away from toxic drama, any drama. Sometimes I have
Well,
to
I
relearn
manage a
that.
strip club, so that's out.
Well, I mean, getting too invested in it because, I mean, I see, there's drama happening online and here and
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and I
100%. I
thankfully,
don't wanna involve myself in
I
any of the shit online at all. I don't.
I have to block
Mhm.
people so I don't because I do get emotionally,
Yeah, you get affected by it.
I get yeah, and so I don't even see some of it, and then, yeah, it's been kinda nice to know that I've separated myself from a lot of that, and so
Mhm,
this past year, a lot of bad shit happened to a lot of people, and it's been a shitty year for a lot of people, and it's been really hard, but if anything good came of that for me, that part, because just taking that break for my body and,
mhm,
emotionally
mhm.
moving away from things that cause me problems that I didn't realize in the past, because
Yeah.
like, I'm putting on weight, my body's starting to feel better, and so I'm gonna
Yeah, you
keep
look
on
really
going with
good.
that.
You look really good.
What about you? What is your resolutions? What are your goals?
Imma stop being such a
Resolutions.
yes person. Like, feel like I have pretty good boundaries and everything, but I have a tendency to allow myself to be overloaded with stuff. Like, I accept responsibility and I'm somebody that, gets Therefore, I'm good at a lot of stuff that I do, and I get saddled with a lot of responsibility, therefore. You know what I mean? And I need to remember that shit isn't necessarily always just about, like, something being good for my career. It's, like, I have to start saying no for my mental health, right? Because I end up taking on a lot, and then I am like, instead of enjoying the stuff that I do, and most of it, what I do enjoy, and,
Mhm.
but yeah, when it gets to be a lot, then I start to not enjoy any of it. So yeah, I've gotta be no. I've gotta be more of a no person, which maybe the dominatrix thing will help me with that.
God.
I don't know. I've always wanted to be, it's like almost like people pleasing, but I'm not even really, it's not even that. It's like if somebody gives me a responsibility, I take it very seriously.
Mhm.
And I've got to learn to not take on the responsibility of everything, because it's not always up to me, and I have to pick and choose what I'm going to involve myself in.
Being choosy about my fucks is something else. But
There you go.
I had, really lived by that a long time ago, and I let myself get away from that and
Mhm,
overwhelm myself with caring about too many things that really don't serve me any.
mhm. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I am going to be flying down there to see you this week and to see Lauren Lotus at Mons Venus for the anniversary party.
Yes, I've done this for a whole fucking year. Can you believe it? We survived. Club is beautiful now. Everything's beautiful. I love my entertainers. I love everybody that I work with. It's about fucking awesome. And yeah, I think we've done really well to have gotten where we've gotten within a year. And I think as long as we continue, that it's going to continue getting better. And I think, yeah, having entertainers like Lauren, the performers like part of that. So I'm really excited that she said yes. Um, because she's phenomenal. So I'm really excited that she's going to come and perform, and she's going to do a Lauren Lotus uh life size Barbie thing.
I can't
So
wait
yeah,
to see.
yeah. So yeah, we've got to get this out. At least even if we don't get the whole thing out, we get the clip out beforehand.
I'll
Make
have the
sure
whole
you
thing out by
guys,
Thursday.
yeah, Tampa, come on, Mons Venus, Saturday the
We'll be
3rd,
there.
having our anniversary party. Lauren Lotus is performing. Opal, I think you've met. She is a phenomenal pole
I can't
performer.
wait to
She is
see.
performing. She's very graceful. She's wonderful to watch. So yeah, we're gonna have a whole party. Lots of customer appreciation.
It'll be
Yeah,
great.
I'm really excited for all my friends to be there.
Me too. I
Right.
love
I love
you.
you,
Happy New
Jen.
Year, because
Happy
it
New
can't
Year.
get like, I don't wanna no, I'm not gonna curse. I'm not gonna curse. Like, I can't do that whole "it can't get worse" because we said that in 2020, and so I'm not gonna do that. It's just we survived.
Yeah, we're almost done.